Welcome to Coffee and Conversation. I'm your host, Shashank Bengali. We're joined today by Justin Leong from Rebel FC. So, Justin, MMA is sort of a fascinating story. It really has not been on mainstream media, and yet it's managed to upstage boxing in terms of audience and pay-per-view audience now. How did MMA get to be so big?
MMA has actually been the fastest growing sport for a long time. For the past 10 years, it's actually the fastest growing sport in the US. Actually, a lot of people don't know MMA is probably the most viral sport in the world, even more so than basketball or even football. I stumbled upon the MMA. So when I first saw it, I saw a sold out stadium in Las Vegas. It was a UFC fight. And then I saw the guys walk out like gladiators. And then when they started the fight in this octagon, it kind of blew me away because it was so fresh. The tagline to the UFC is that they were a $2 million company and they became a $2 billion business. And then they took over the martial arts world, MMA world in the US. So I saw that, I thought all you need is $2 million to become a billionaire. And so I started with my father. Actually, my father was my first supporter and investor, and we became partners for Rebel. We founded it in 2013, and 7 months later, we did our first event.
So how do you go about deciding, what makes a great MMA fighter?
We were talking about becoming the Marvel of MMA, whereby we were taking the fighters, we looked at them as characters. So we had our Iron Man and our Thor, and then we had entertainment showpieces like our reality show, which would be like the Avengers, where all the fighters come together for a reality show. It really resonated with the fans because you saw different aspects of the fighters' street. So we take a lot of what the person is naturally, and then we exaggerate that, and we kind of bring out the best of that with our press conferences and our events. And then it's our job to kind of film that and to kind of create the content that shows really all that rich background of these fighters, where they came from and where they're fighting.
How do you ensure that the fights are still good fights? Because fans are they're gonna turn away if it looks too staged or too much like wrestling, the World Wrestling Federation in the US, right? Guys breaking chairs. That's not too fake.
Yes.
What's the right alchemy between the production value and still having a really good fight with two talented fighters?
I think you have to still go all in with the marketing and the promotion. I mean, you don't really know the line until you kind of crossed it. But obviously, we want to be respectful of boundaries and of nationality. But it's the fight business at the end of the day as well. I mean, they're gonna go inside and literally beat the living, what out of each other. So and it's very competitive. There's a lot at stake. So actually, the build-up is actually that suspense of them not knowing what the outcome is. So you got to look at the sport like it's theater. So we're all like actors in a Shakespearean play, and then you got guys who are serious. You got guys like Don King who are very flamboyant, talking about the American dream and only in America, fantastic catchphrases. And then you got other guys who are maybe a bit more subdued, a bit more serious, like a lot of the Japanese promoters who are very serious and honorable. So I think you have to have a lot of different mixes.
How important is it to have a fighter like a Manny Pacquiao or a fighter from Indonesia, for example, to galvanize interest? Or can you package a fighter from China or Japan or the US in a way that it appeals to audiences in different countries?
For our business, actually, it's a star business. So heroes and your stars really are the difference that make a huge difference in the business. So guys like we had with Wang Saw and also Lu Wenpo, who's very much like a Conor McGregor type, a trash talking type. Those are the guys that really can bring in a lot of big dollars. And then we're talking about 50 to 100 million RMB for a pay-per-view, which is 10 to 20 million Sing.
So obviously, like every business, you guys are grappling with the impact of COVID-19 and the pandemic. How has that affected your events in China and elsewhere?
I think sports has been very hit quite badly. I think international sports has been hit even worse than a lot of local sports. I think the sports industry has been not say stagnant, but it's been developed for so long, for the past 20 years. And technology, they were dependent a lot on TV broadcasters. But as we all know, TV has kind of been downtrending in terms of revenue and in terms of viewership. Uptrending now is online digital media. So I think the space in China, at least, or even worldwide, has been taking quite a disruption in terms of how how audiences are consuming sports.
So obviously China's the huge prize. The regional market too in Southeast Asia is pretty big. A lot of interest in MMA here. What's the size of the Southeast Asia, ASEAN market? You know, Singapore, but also looking around other countries.
Yeah, I mean, a good comparative would be our friendly competitor, our brother in our Business One Championship. They got invested by Temasek. They're supposed to be valued now at almost $1 billion. So I think Temasek are very smart guys, and their viewership numbers are huge. I think they're talking about 50 million. No, they got about 12 million Facebook fans in Asia. So I think that's around the number, about 20 to 50 million. And Indonesia is huge as well.
Tell me a bit about the China market. Is that where you see the most lucrative opportunity for you guys?
Absolutely. I think it's the final frontier. I think it's the last place. I believe wholeheartedly because of the talent that is there.
China, huge opportunity. What's the size of the market there for MMA, you think? And given all the attention on China, is there a spot for Rebel FC, say, if you're the number 2 player in that market?
I mean, it's quite unknown, as in statistically, how big the market is. It's just going from our experiences in China with our events and the kind of the audiences that we've been reaching. Each event we put on, we get 30 million views on digital, about 5 million TV viewership. I think the audience in China is huge. It's about 300 million martial arts fans. There's 25 million combat sports fans, which is even a lot more than the US.
Well, that's all the time we've got for today, Justin. Thanks so much for being with us. And thanks for joining us on Coffee and Conversation. I'm your host, Shashank Bengali, and we'll see you next time.